let's get this show on the road. Come on, you freaking big. It's only sketchy getting onto the water. Once we get out there, we have about 4 inches. It's just like 1 inch in front of me, but I think if I can climb this tree out, pull my sled, it'll be good enough. Look at that. Easy peasy. So, I have made it to the pond I'm going to be fishing today, and full disclosure, I came to this pond with the intention of the ice just being too thin and I would have to go someplace else. But I got here, there's a bunch of like fire trucks and ambulances here. They're just training for, I'm assuming, people who fall through the ice. I was pleasantly surprised. There is about 4 inches of ice here, which is plenty safe enough to ice fish on. Getting on and off is going to be a little bit sketchy because it is going to be 44 degrees today and sunny, as you guys could tell. So I had to come out and ice fish in this weather. Definitely training back there. Where are they? I should just jump in that water. Hey, you guys want some real life practice? Surprise! I gotta stop rambling and get to stepping. I haven't even drilled any of my holes yet. I think I want to be about here. So the tip-ups I'm going to be using today are from Fraybill, and in New Hampshire you are allowed 6 lines per person. All my shiners are dead because I bought them, I don't know, 4 days ago, and I did not keep very good care of them. So I'm going to grab ones that look a little bit more lifelike. I'm just going to go right in through the back, kind of barely skin hook this thing. Now I just have to repeat that 3 more times. What do we got up in here? I think we might just go with Old Faithful. What I'm gonna be jigging with is a 1/16 of an ounce tungsten weight to a medium heavy, right? There's a medium heavy. Yeah, medium heavy ugly stick rod, 30 inches. And then I have a Shimano Sienna 500. And I believe I rigged this up with 6-pound fluorocarbon. I have a flag. I don't know if anything is on it. Oh no, someone's definitely on it. Yeah. Something had it. Swam a little off to the side over there. Feet deep, but as you can tell, all this red line goes to about 6.5 feet deep. That, I believe, is because there are weeds down there that come up about 2 feet, top of the weeds. If you go too far in it, you can just get snagged up on the weeds. But I like going right to the tip. See, now I'm in 6 feet of water. Have the potential to catch a pickerel, largemouth bass, yellow perch, or crappie. Now, if I catch a decent sized crappie, I might bring that home and eat it today. Being said, I really don't always have the best luck here. I just like coming here because it's literally like 12 minutes away from where I live, and there is potential to catch something big here. Usually I don't, but there is potential to catch something big here. Oh, there's a fish. Got him. Oh my word, look at this crappie. I finally got one. I didn't even see him coming on the screen. Nice crappie. Okay. Oh, should I take you home and eat you, bud? Look at this thing. Oh man. You know what? You know what? I'll let you go. I'll let you go, bud. There you go. Cool, man. Oh man, I am so glad to get the skunk off the ice. Oh, I'm just using a little beat up dead shiner. Back down I go. Hopefully there's more where that came from. So I'm just gonna go over how I personally set up my Garmin Striker 4. Now, by no means am I an expert at like using electronics and figuring out all the settings or anything like that. Actually, it's kind of the opposite. I don't really know too much. I do know a little, and a lot of people were asking. So I'm just gonna kind of show you how I basically go about using my Garmin. So I bought a Garmin Striker 4 ice bundle. Came with the Garmin, came with the transducer, and came with a battery. Now since then I had to throw out the battery they gave me and buy a Walmart battery. That's the only difference between what I have and what you would typically buy it from new. And I came with all these connections as well. I didn't actually have to set any of these connections up in here, but it's actually exactly how I set up my new fish finder, the same exact way. I press and hold the power button, and then you guys heard it beep, and then now I wait. Now this is the home screen. You have traditional, flasher, split, frequency, and you have your waypoint maps and all that stuff. That being said, I never really use my waypoint maps because I don't have any GPS. Now typically I really don't ever go into settings or user data. Typically all I do is the traditional or flasher, but like 99% of the time I'm using traditional. And so when I hit up traditional, this is the screen that it comes to. Now the top of the screen is the top of the water, and then the bottom here is the bottom of the water column, obviously. But you have your temp, your thermometer, your voltage, and the time all right here. And as you guys can tell, 8 feet is down here, and that's how deep it is, and there's all this kind of stuff up here. Now that could be a branch coming off the side, because as you can see there's a tree right in front of me there. It could be grass, a brush pile. There's something underneath me, which is why there's all that kind of colorfulness above 8 feet and below 6. Now if we hit the back button, you also have the traditional flasher, and again shows the foot right in the middle here. And at the top of your circle, that is going to be the top of the ice, and then all the way down here is going to be the bottom. Now you see that dot that's moving around the 5 mark in between the 6 and 4, that is me. So I'm going down to 6 feet now. I'm going back up to 4 feet, but that is me. Now, that being said, there are a couple marks below me. I mean, like I said, that could be fish, that could be weeds coming up a couple feet up off the bottom. I know you guys can see this little mark here in 6 feet. That very well could be a fish hanging out down there. But I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not actually the biggest fan of this kind of Vexilar looking setup. I prefer the traditional. So for the most part, I am just going to be using traditional. That's just what I like. But let's move down to split frequency. Now what that's going to do is divide the screen in half. And on one half of the screen, you're using 200 hertz, and the other, you're using 77 hertz. Now basically all that means is the wideness of the cone of angle. And kind of what I mean by that is 200 hertz is going to have a lot more narrow of a beam going down than 77 hertz. 77 hertz is going to be more of that wider cone, and you will get more area to see fish. But as you guys can tell, it's just not as clear as the 200 hertz. See how that 200 hertz is just a little bit more crispy than that 77 hertz? That's why I like to use 200 hertz in shallow water. If I'm going in about 20 or more feet of water, then I will switch over to that more narrow beam of 27 or 77 hertz, sorry. And that's pretty much how I decide between the two. Shallow water, I'll go 200. A little bit deeper water, I'll go 77. All right, now I'm just going to give you guys an aspect of what my bait looks like underneath the water using 200 hertz. So as you can tell, I'm going up and down with my bait in about 6 feet of water. Super obvious. All right, now switching between the dual beam 200 hertz and 77 hertz is super simple. All you have to do is hit these 3 lines, and then this menu will pop up, and you go to frequency, and all you gotta go to is the chirp 77, back, and then boom, it's gonna automatically switch over to that 77. Let's see how it looks like on the 77. And that's kind of the difference between the two, but like I said, I prefer the 200, so we're just going to switch back to the 200. 100 hertz is more of a narrow beam down, whereas 77 hertz is more of that wider cone angle. Another reason why I like to use the 200 hertz instead of the 77 is just because I feel like the 200 hertz does a better job of separating the fish from the bottom of the pond or lake you're going to be fishing. 77 hertz, as you guys, actually I'll literally show you right now. If I go to 77, you see how the bottom is just all straight red? I think 200 does a slightly better job of distinguishing, God, I can't speak. I think the 200 hertz does a better job of showing the difference between the fish and other fish or the bottom of the lake. See kind of what I mean? You can kind of see the difference where the fish will come up from the bottom. I will say the 77 hertz is better at kind of finding fish because it is a wider cone and more fish have the potential to show up on your Garmin, but in my opinion it's just not as clear. It is the last battery for today. It is 3 p.m. at the moment, so I really only have about 30 more minutes to fish, which is not a lot of time to hook into a fish today. Honestly, I'm probably gonna start picking up my tip-ups around 3:30. Okay, that's definitely a fish right there. That's me. That's a fish that just came up and is headed back down. Hopefully he comes back up again, because he is all the way back down. You guys can even see he traveled right back down to the bottom. Alright, so that is it for today. And overall, it was pretty expected. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't come here expecting to crush it. I never do at this pond. But I am happy just to get outside, enjoy the nice warm weather. Well, for today was just to honestly come out and catch anything. And that's kind of what I did. I did manage to catch that one crappie jigging. But next week up north in New Hampshire where I live, it is going to be absolutely freezing. So after next week, I'm absolutely gonna have safe ice basically everywhere I want. That was the plan. Like 3 months ago, me and my buddy came up with a plan to do a 3-day camping trip on the Connecticut River, and we need cold weather. And next week, it's going to be 0 degrees up north where we plan on going camping. So that is going to make some safe ice for us. As you guys can tell, I'm all packed up, ready to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.
Now I gotta say goodbye.